Alright guys, so today we're going to be talking about different types of masks for the current situation that's going on right now. And just as a disclaimer, I am not a doctor, so do your own research before purchasing any sort of mask. Okay, so the first thing at the beginning, what they told us is that masks will not help us. They will not stop the virus, stop you from getting the virus. And then afterwards, they told us that some sort of face covering like these would be beneficial. Okay, so I got a couple different options here for face coverings. First off, you got a very basic face covering, which is just a shamag. People take these and they wrap them around their face. You could call it a desert scarf or a shamag, but basically they kind of use it like a bandana and just wrap it around their face, and you know, these may protect you. Then you got single layer face masks. The good thing about these is you can wash them and reuse them. Then you got 2-layer ones like these. But what's really recommended is you purchase a 3-layer washable mask if you can. If you're gonna use cloth masks and things like that, best thing to do is get a 3-layer mask. The next thing we got here are surgical masks. So these have anywhere between 30 to 70% filtration efficiency. It's a lot of mixed information about these, but if these are your only option, I would suggest wearing them before going out. So the next thing we got here is ASTM level 2 masks, surgical masks. They look the same, but they're not. These ones actually have a 98% filtration efficiency rating. So if you can get these ones, try and buy them, and make sure you buy them from a reputable source. Next, we got the KN95s. These are the Chinese standard for masks. The issue with these is every single person is making them. Not literally every single person, but there's people who there's people in China who used to make fake designer bags. They started making these. There's so many examples like that where it's really hard to trust. It's really hard to trust those masks. Here's another example of a KN95 mask, and I'm gonna say this again: if these are all you have, just wear them. But there's definitely better options out there if you can get them. All right, so the next 4 we have here are N95 masks. These are folding ones and these are round ones. The one over here has a breathing valve. So about the valve ones, they actually are harmful for other people and can spread the virus, because while they do protect you, they don't stop the virus droplets from escaping and infecting others. So you should probably stop wearing them. So now these are basically the North American standard of masks. They have a 95% filtration efficiency, and to make sure that they are legit, there are brand names and model numbers and lot numbers on these masks that you can look up online to make sure you're getting a good product. Oh, and one thing I forgot to mention about the surgical masks, they're disposable. If you didn't already know that, you throw them away after, say, a day of use, and that shouldn't be an issue because they are fairly cheap. While on the other hand, these N95s, technically you should throw them away after a day of use. Most people won't do that because of the fact that they're really expensive, but that's why we're going to talk about possible ways of disinfecting them near the end. Another one I forgot to mention is the 3M N95 mask. These are what doctors and hospitals are using, kind of the gold standard of N95 masks. So the N95 masks are what I recommend you wear if you can get them. They're the same thing that I use, even though here in Canada most people stop thinking masks are necessary because the cases have gone down a lot. It is July 10th and we have had 371 new cases in the last 24 hours for the entire country, not even close to the US. The US had about 57,000 new cases in the last 24 hours. But still, even though we don't have cases like they do in the US, we should continue to wear masks and take proper safety precautions, because we're not out of the woods yet. Now, if we start to get cases like the US, or if I was living in the US, I would use something like this. This is a half mask. It doesn't have the filters on them, but you can get filters for these that give you 99.99% filtration. So basically the maximum amount of protection that you can get. Another good option is pandemic flu preparedness kits. Got one right here. So basically what you get in these is a pandemic information sheet, 2 N95 respirators, similar to this, not the exact same ones. I used up mines, but they look similar, to this one. You get 4 surgical masks, like right here, and you get 1 hand sanitizer bottle. So this is a pretty cool item. If you can find it, get it. It's useful. Now let's talk about disinfecting the masks and ways that you can reuse them. Okay, the virus can sit on a mask for up to 7 days. So if you have 1 mask for each day of the week, by the time you get to your second usage of the mask, it has already been 7 days and the mask should be virus-free and safe to use. I read some stuff about people using hydrogen peroxide to clean their masks, but I believe that's basically the way they do it is they use hydrogen peroxide vapors and they use it in a professional medical setting. I don't think the average person can just use hydrogen peroxide and pour it on their N95 mask and have it ready to use. But definitely do your own research on that and see if that's something you might consider. Me personally, I wouldn't try that. The next thing is the UVC Light Wand, and this is something that I'm fairly confident about and I'm fairly certain that it works. So the way you use it is you put your batteries in, you power it on, and you wave the UVC Light Wand over your N95 mask or any type of surface that you're disinfecting for about 1 minute to 2 minutes, and it should kill the virus. Alright guys, that's it for the video. Thanks for watching.